Hey guys, this is Candace, and I'm bringing you your astrological horoscopes for the month of February 2017 for Libra and Libra rising. Welcome, Libras. I'm back and I'm happy to be here. This is the very first video that I've done for a series of 12 horoscopes that I'm going to start doing for you guys monthly to give you more. Everybody wants more. I love my horoscopes and I love listening to them. And this is particularly a challenge for me because I'm finally having to step up and commit to doing them. But I'm glad to be sharing them with you guys. And yeah, there's some really interesting stuff that's going on for you. So as always, I encourage you to look at your birth chart calculations to find your ascendant and to find your moon sign. It's very important to have a better understanding of your own personal horoscope aspects. Check out the calculators to do that. And if you want me to take a look at your chart or to get a reading, you may book a personal reading with me at astrology.com, and I'll take a look. We'll have a conversation. But until then, a little bit about how we're going to do this. I'm going to give you guys some specific dates, so if you have a pen and paper, you may want to write that down. I also have my handy dandy cards here, so we will be pulling some cards as we go if I get some psychic hits about things we need to expand on. But let's get started. So first things first, we've got Venus, who is entering into Aries. And it's funny because the goddess is she's a little touchy. I don't know how comfortable she is in Aries. I think that because Aries is it can be very rushed, and it's just got so much drive and so much passion that she will have an interesting ride this month, and even more so because Mars is already there and Uranus has been transiting your guys' seventh house of Aries for some time now, so this is nothing new. But when she shows up, it's going to get interesting. And what we're starting is this trend that I'm calling, and I've been joking around calling it this, but I'm to the point of like probably going to do a video about it. Revenge of the exes. And trust me and believe me when I tell you this is going to happen. This energy is already building this month with seeing a couple of planets that are entering your relationship house. Now, February 3rd is when she enters in. And it's important that you guys know this and that you're aware that we've got one planet that's already there. We've already got Mars and, two, Uranus. But we're going to see that Venus is there. We have a Venus retrograde that's going to be coming next month. And then after that, we have a Mercury retrograde that will be happening also in Aries. This is why I'm saying revenge of the exes. Know that between this month and June, you've got two retrogrades happening in that period. And it's going to be a lot of relationship energy, a lot of partner energy, a lot of business partner energy, and a lot to reevaluate. So don't rush in the matters of love and money this month. That's the big thing that I want to tell you, because your ruling planet, Jupiter, is also going to go retrograde. So we'll get to that in a second. But being that Venus, is in opposition, it's in your second house. It's basically telling you, Jupiter is in your first house in opposition of your seventh. Excuse me, I should know this. It's my personal chart. You're seeing so much more being redirected at you. And when Venus goes retrograde, it's going to be like this conflicting energy with Jupiter going retrograde in your first house. So we'll start with this. Mars is already in your seventh. We're going to see that Venus is going to enter, and you're going to have the potential to have either old relationships coming back, old relationship themes coming back, a major push for you to be charging full steam potentially into relationships. It's going to get colorful because Uranus is already there. So, you could be bringing in like a couple of different people, but Jupiter going retrograde on the 5th of February is going to hold you accountable. And it's going to make you realize that you need to do a little bit of self-reflection and start getting better grounded with yourself and having an idea, is this best for me? Now, you've had Jupiter in your first house crossing your ascendant since September. So now that you've had a couple of months of really kind of feeling the mojo and things going well for you in your personal development, you need to stand really strong to your own personal goals from here until June. Because as these planets go retrograde through your seventh, partners may challenge that. People may come back. Some of us have gone through some really gnarly breakups, and I'm seeing so much potential for like people to come back. And my question to you is like, do they deserve the 2.0 version of you? Probably not. That's up for you to decide. But really think things over before you move entirely too fast. Also, Jupiter going retrograde in your first is giving you the opportunity to be reevaluating how you can better improve yourself or improve your body. And these topics are going to go on for a couple months, so don't worry about that. I think that it's just bringing attention back to you and sprucing yourself up and sprucing your physical appearance up. And if people are pulling at your heartstrings, you're going to have to be really, 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 really clear about your boundaries. For that, I get the Seven of Wands. And so it's getting perspective. It's knowing that where you are is okay. You don't have to jump at anything. You're actually doing really well. And it's important to gain perspective this month. Now, Valentine's seems exceptionally favorable for Libra. You should know that the moon will be in your very own sign that day, suggesting the perfect time for you to be getting love and affection, showered with gifts and all of that good stuff. If you're single and you're not typically the person to participate in Valentine's Day, don't be a Scrooge. Go out and do something. Just honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Hallmark holidays myself. That's just me. Even me, myself, my pessimistic Scorpio self, I went and bought tickets to go to a show. And guess what? I don't have a date yet. So this is a good thing. If you are single and you want to be manifesting something and you may have a hunch that maybe you're going to meet someone, make plans for Valentine's Day, even if it's going out with friends, because I do think it's possible that you could be invited to go out with other couples and you could just meet somebody that day, around that day. Just the where everything is with Jupiter, you got to do it. You have to do it. Promise me that you'll do it. My advice to you this month, Libra, is that you be aware of what comes back to you this month and next month. Not everybody in your past is meant to mix with your present. You deserve the best. Don't settle for less. Take time to decompress and reflect on what you need. And the card that I get for that is the Ace of Swords. So be speaking your truth, be walking in your truth. Know what your worth is. Know what your self-worth is. I think that, any Uranus transit is difficult, and like everybody's been dealing with it. I think that it can be a little bit more difficult for you because it opposes your sun. And with Jupiter now being on your sun, it's, things should be going pretty well for you. And there is more of a need for you to be feeling like you need a partner now more than ever. So know your worth. Don't settle. Talks changing as Mercury enters into Aquarius and leaves Capricorn. So this is more the reason why I see this being some partnership energy. We've had a lot of talk about our homes. I know that the Mercury retrograde that we had recently was all about our homes and our family and our moms. But now it's moving into our fifth house, which has to do with romance, creativity. Yes, it has to do with drama. But I think that also you have the potential to be being on the receiving end of some romantic words and coming from new potential partners. So you won't be short of flattery this month, and you're definitely going to have your pick of the litter. Now, around February the 8th, I am seeing some tricky transits that are going to be affecting you in a big way. As one of the cardinal signs, you know that there have been squares that have been going on with some of these outer planets. Now, when Pluto and Uranus and Jupiter and the moody moon in Cancer shows up on the 8th, you really have to make a decision that's best for you. It comes down to what's best for you. After all, it's all about balance. You may feel a bit under pressure about your relationships or your obligations to your partners, both romantic or business. This doesn't mean that you have to be defensive. It just means that, there is potential of arguments, and if somebody's starting it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to finish it. So take a step back if things get a little uneasy, or if you've got somebody who's pushing your buttons around the 8th. Things will taper off a little bit, and they're going to be a bit better actually after the eclipse. Now, the big news is that there's the first lunar eclipse of 2017, and it will be in Leo. And for you, that's your 11th house, and it has to do with friendships. I should mention the eclipse is at 22 degrees. And Leo is familiar with drama. I think the way that this may play out is you saying ta-ta to some friends or to some social groups that are just not cutting it. They're not cutting it for you right now. If you've got friends that are having drama, if you've got groups that are having drama, I highly recommend reevaluating, not necessarily causing a stir, although you usually don't. You're pretty diplomatic. But if you're noticing that you've got friends that aren't valuing you, or you're having issues with some of the groups that you associate with, you could see this build going on up until the eclipse that we're going to have that day. And it's important to be aware of it. You know, some other astrologers liken, eclipses to like a bridge. And when the bridge blows up, it's over. There's no going back. So I want you to be aware of some dramatic situations that have the potential to be blown out of proportion, and examine that, and then let the dust settle, and then make a decision. But it may be best actually not to talk about what you're feeling. February 18th, excuse me. The sun enters into Pisces, and that's going to be going into your 6th house, bringing all sorts of creative and dreamy projects into the workspace. You may be finding the need to alter your schedule, but also to make time for naps. I could see the potential for a siesta here or there, but Neptune being there now, in this next month, you really could make your dreams into a reality. You're also very, very, very intuitive in your daily routine. So listen to your intuition. Let it guide you in making changes in your schedule. Let it guide you in bringing spirituality into your daily routine. You may be needing to have more of a focus of getting up in the morning and doing a little bit of your meditation, or however you may connect to spirit or connect to source to feel better balanced. On February the 22nd, we are going to have some challenging aspects between Mars and Pluto. And this doesn't happen often, about every 2 years, and when it happens twice in a year. So we'll be having it now, and then again it'll roll through back in November. So we don't have to worry about that until the fall, but this basically sets things up for some pretty high intense emotional energies. You're also seeing some potential really bad weather that could be happening. So if you're traveling, you need to be aware of that. Now that starts on the 22nd, and that energy may just kind of roll until we get into the Pisces eclipse that's going to be happening in your 6th house, and it's at 8 degrees Pisces. So this is a solar eclipse. With the solar eclipse taking place, it's about your creative endeavors. It's about your spiritual work. I know a lot of other Libra risings who have said, man, this has been a colorful 2 years. I've somehow made my way into having more of a routine with my spirituality, or being very connected with my spiritual self, or now maybe I'm doing spiritual work. To those of you guys who aren't, creative endeavors are strongly favored right now, and you may be looking at what has been a hobby as turning into a career. Believe in it. If you build it, trust me when I tell you, it will come. The Emperor promises that. I really firmly believe that between Jupiter on your ascendant, now going retrograde, and having this final eclipse in your 6th house, it's like, what have you learned spiritually, or what have you learned about your dreams and your intuition the past 2 years up until this point? Because now it's like the final showdown, and whatever you've been working on, you may be walking into the final stages of making it a reality. So I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to you guys today, and to get to have you take a look at this video. If you have any questions or any comments for me, you may question or comment below this video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and until next month, Libra, I'll see you soon.